Hi, once again, this is Joe Miller, workers' compensation attorney, trial attorney in both Virginia and North Carolina. I want to talk to you today about a subject that comes up all the time because we do this all the time, and that is going to a workers' compensation hearing in your case. What's it all about? What can you expect? There are several reasons that you might go to a hearing. The most common one is because your case has been denied by the workers' compensation carrier. There's a couple other circumstances. You might have a medical issue that comes up. They're not agreeing to pay for a surgery, not agreeing to pay for some other procedure or device. You might have to go to a hearing to get that. You might have an award, even be under an award, and something comes up where they issue an application. The defense files an application to cut you off of your benefits, and that has to go to a hearing as well. The most common one, though, is, and the one that we're going to talk about really here, is the one where your claim is denied and we're trying to get you benefits. There are some things about a workers' compensation hearing that are very different from what you might see on TV with a jury trial or something like that. So we're going to talk about those. The most important thing to know is that there's no jury. Your case is decided by somebody called a deputy commissioner, and they're employed by the Workers' Compensation Commission, and the deputy commissioner is going to hear your case, and that's the one that's going to decide your case. Another thing that's important to know is that there's not going to be a verdict. Like when you think about jury trials, you think about the fact that, okay, well, the bailiff hands a decision at the end of your case, and there's a paper that's handed to the bailiff. The bailiff reads the verdict. We, the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, find for the plaintiff and award him or her damages in the amount of dollars. Okay, that will not happen in your case. What happens is the commissioner is going to review all the documents, going to review all the evidence after you've testified, any of your witnesses have testified, going to review all the medical records, and he's going to go back, he or she is going to go back and render a decision. And it's not going to be that day. Okay, it may be as early as, I've had it happen actually the next day after a case. That is the quickest I've ever seen it happen. I've seen it go as long as 6 months also for a decision to come out, unfortunately. So you're not going to know what happened that day. That's the next thing. Another thing you need to know is that one good thing really is that you don't necessarily have to do doctor's depositions or bring any doctors to your hearing. Most of the time we don't. In fact, I never had to bring one. Why? Because the commissioner is, we prepare all your medical records in a very specific way, in a very organized way that the commissioner requires, and that is entered into evidence, and that's something that the commissioner is going to review, okay, as part of your case, all the relevant medical records. We don't a lot of times bring but so many witnesses. Most of the time it's just you and maybe one other witness if the actual facts of the accident are disputed. Another thing you need to know is that even if you get a decision, let's say within a couple of months of the hearing, and we win, that's not the end of the story, unfortunately. The defense has, or any side who loses has the right to appeal that. The first level is the full commission. That's a body of 3 folks up in Richmond who will review the decision. That's a matter of right, and they will review it and decide whether they, uphold it, affirm it, or they reverse it and send it back for further proceedings, or they could just reverse the whole thing. But that's not the end. After that, then it goes to a second level, which is the Virginia Court of Appeals. So, that process right there, between the commissioner coming to their decision, the appeal process to get to the full commission, now you're talking about, a year and a half process from the date that your hearing takes place. So, unfortunately, that's the way it is with workers' comp. The good news is that there's nothing preventing the parties in the meantime during that whole process from maybe trying to work a settlement. For instance, if we've won and we know that they have to appeal, they got to pay their lawyers. They have to do certain things, so it doesn't mean we can't settle in the meantime. I think the most important thing to understand, though, about going to workers' compensation hearing is the limited power that the commissioner has. When you go to a jury verdict, when you go to a jury trial, and you hear the jury verdict read at the end, like I said before, the bailiff has handed that piece of paper. We, the jury, find for the plaintiff in the amount of $600,000, that sort of thing. That is not going to happen in your case. Why? Because the commissioner has very limited power. All they can do, let's say you have a completely denied claim. They can either say that the claim is compensable, thumbs up, or not compensable, thumbs down. And at that point, if they rule it's compensable, let's say that you have a case, so what they're going to do is award you your back pay that they decide that you're due, any back pay that you have, and your ongoing check, 1 check per week, and your medicals. That's it. So You might be going into the hearing thinking, oh, I want to get, some couple $100,000. I'm going to get an award. That can't happen. The only way you're going to get a large lump sum amount of money potentially is to settle with the comp carrier, because the commissioner can't give you that. It's not within their power. It's important to understand all these things. I hope I've explained it to you pretty well, and you have a better understanding of what a workers' compensation hearing is all about. If you have any questions about your case, going to a hearing, not going to a hearing, about settlements, whatever it is with respect to workers' compensation, please give us a call at the number on the screen or contact us online at joemillerinjurylaw.com. Pleasure talking to you. I love to explain all this stuff because it needs to get out there to the public. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful day.